Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who news video. Today I've got two interesting things to discuss. The first of which is that we have official confirmation from Russell T Davies himself that the Timeless Child is going to be the spine of the new Doctor Who season. So to all of you who were hoping that the Timeless Child would be lost and forgotten, no pun intended because I swear that's what the Master says in series 12, that's not gonna happen. The Timeless Child is a crucial part of the Doctor's character that will carry on, but more details on that in the latter half of the video. First, we have these really cool images of the Doctor Who Season 2 finale that is currently being filmed in Cardiff. I'm not going to put anything too spoilery here, we're just going to have a look at a couple of images, so don't worry about spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, obviously, skip ahead. I'll put the timestamp somewhere so you can just hear about the Timeless Child stuff, but as I say, they're currently in Cardiff filming the Season 2 finale, and Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor has a very funky new look. He's got his bowler hat, he's got a briefcase kind of thing, and apparently, without going too much into it, he's saying things that the Doctor wouldn't necessarily say. Is this an alternate Doctor? Or more likely an alternate version of history? It could even be a dream sequence, we do not know. But what we do know is that companion Ruby Sunday is running down the street here with a new style. This, I think, is the same sort of look she has earlier on in Season 2, because we saw her filming that a while back. She's not in every episode of Season 2, but she's there for a decent chunk of it. We also heard that in the recent press release. Her and Virada Sethu are also the companions of this season. We had that officially stated, so I don't think Millie's there for everything, but she's there for bits and bobs. The old reliable #DWSR and Doctor Who filming locations account over on Twitter also points out that the bins on set are bizarre. They say slip, or maybe it's SLIP. I don't know. I mean, let me know theories. I have nothing on this. It just says, what's up with the bins? Every bin on the street has been replaced with an orange slip bin, and residents walk out of their houses and throw a small load of waste into the bins in unison. Very odd. It's kind of, I don't know why, but I'm getting like 1984 kind of vibes. Like, I don't know. We've also got this police van with like the crown on it. Are we going like full monarchy, sort of political with this? I'm excited to see. And yeah, Bonnie Langford's Mel is back on her Vespa motorbike, which once again, I'm excited to see. We don't actually see Bonnie in that picture there. That's her stunt double, but it's looking pretty exciting. Now, the piece of news that this video is probably headlined with is the Doctor and Ruby orphan origins to be the spine of the new Doctor Who series. So this is an article from Cultbox, but the contents of it they got from Entertainment Weekly. If you've forgotten what the Timeless Child was, here's a quick recap I made 4 years ago.
Many years ago, a Shobogan explorer named Tecteun set off to explore the universe.
On her travels, she came across a child who was abandoned and unknown.
She took the child in and treated it as her own.
Until one day, while playing with a friend, she fell off a cliff.
Yikes, that's some bad parenting.
Yeah. Anyway, after falling off the cliff, the child began to regenerate.
Fascinated by this newfound ability, Tecteun experimented on the child, stealing the genetic ability to regenerate.
She implanted this ability of regeneration into the genetic code of a new race, the Time Lords.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
To cut a long story short, Russell T Davies has simply confirmed that they aren't dropping this plotline. Now, I think a lot of fans assumed it kind of, and I mean I did myself, assumed that the Timeless Child would kind of be left with the Jodie era, but this shouldn't really come as a surprise to people because it has been quite a heavy theme of the recent 60th specials. In Wild Blue Yonder, you have that fantastic moment where the 14th Doctor sort of breaks down, having a little argument with the Not Thing Donna about the flux and its consequences. Then in the church on Ruby Road, we see that this is the case because 15th Doctor like, he says I'm adopted when he finds out that Ruby is, and I'm sure that's something that the pair will share throughout the season. Now, it depends on how literal they're going with this. Are we actually going to go back and ever see the Doctor's origins? I think we're going to find out about Ruby's origins for sure, but whether they're going to do that with the Doctor still remains to be seen, because we've kind of been there and done that with Flux, like Jodie Whittaker's arc with the pocket watch. We saw that. We've seen the Ruth Doctor. Like, how much is it going to be connected? I think it's unlikely, but it's certainly a possibility that characters like the Ruth Doctor could be explored more. I mean, I'd be excited to see more of Jo Martin's character, but I don't know whether this is the best idea for a new audience, because you've got to remember, outside of the hardcore fandom and outside of the UK, Doctor Who is a relatively new show. I mean, going on TikTok or Twitter, I've already seen a bunch of new people in like countries like America who've never even seen Doctor Who watch the trailer to the new Doctor Who going, wow, this looks like a new show. And obviously, it is going to allude to its 60-year history, but how much and how interconnected do you want this to be? Because there were people I knew who didn't watch the Jodie Whittaker era that, after hearing about the Doctor not being from Gallifrey or not being an orphan, did want to go back and re-watch. But is that necessarily a good idea? Does that almost make the show feel like a burden if people feel like they have to watch the prior seasons? One of the reasons that the 2005 revival worked basically perfectly was because we didn't need to know. Like, I had never watched Classic Who. You just come in, watch Doctor Who, and you get it. It's new, it's fresh, you don't need to know anything. The mystery of the Doctor is explored in and of itself within that series, and then in Series 2 they bring in people like Sarah Jane and K9 to tie it more into Classic Who. Will this series rely too much on things that are already established? We know that Unit and Kate Stewart are back, but I suppose they're easy to establish as this is Unit, this is like the shield of the Doctor Who universe, and Kate Stewart's its leader. We also know that like Melanie Bush is back, but then I suppose she can be seen as a new character through a new audience's eyes, and maybe I'm overthinking this. In this current TV landscape, people do actually love like long bingeable things. The most watched things on Netflix are things that you can just sort of put on and binge, which is definitely Doctor Who. Like, it's got such a rich history, and shying away from that is probably the wrong idea. We also have the other end of this kind of argument of, I've seen people on Twitter say, well, the fandom did not respond well to the Timeless Child change, it wasn't a very good episode, so maybe we forget it. I personally disagree. I mean, I don't disagree that the fandom basically went to war over it, but I disagree in that it's a bad episode or bad idea. I did really enjoy Series 12 and the Timeless Child episodes when they dropped. On rewatches, they're not as... I don't remember them as fondly as I did at the time, but they're certainly not bad, and I think it's interesting to do something with the Doctor's character, and I am kind of glad that we're getting more on that, because I do feel like the Jodie Whittaker era introduced it, was about to explore it, COVID happened and kind of messed things up, and then we never really got answers, and I was wholly unsatisfied with the 13th Doctor just dropping her pocket watch down the TARDIS and never seeing it. But as I say, if Ruby's exploring her past, surely the Doctor's going to want to do that. And does that involve Ruby or the Doctor actually going back, maybe even going back to that monument thing where the Timeless Child was originally found? I can't remember what it's called. It's like a wormhole in time and space. Do we see a return of Tecteun? I don't know. How much are these things going to be connected? Because if you had Tecteun come back, probably portrayed by a new actress, because the last one sort of got Infinity War dusted at the end of Flux, which was a massive shame, because I thought the best scenes of that season were Jodie and her confronting each other. Having an exploration of the Doctor's past arguably removes the mystery of Doctor Who, but also, if it's still kept a bit of a mystery to the Doctor himself, it's still Doctor Who. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you annoyed that this Timeless Child thing, it's carrying on? It's not being dropped. And also, I know I keep asking extra questions, but how much is the Doctor going to be affected by it? Because he's just gone through that bi-generation therapy. Like, is he going to be upset about it? Or maybe he's reached a point where he accepts he will never know what happened in his past, but he's going to help Ruby either come to the same conclusion about her past and her family, or he's going to help Ruby find the past that he never could. Something like that. Whatever it's going to be, it's an interesting dynamic to go down. And Russell did mention as well that this Timeless Child stuff was what inspired him to write Ruby as an orphan. So it's all interesting stuff, but let me know your theories in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. All of this Doctor Who-y goodness that you want is going to be found on this channel, so make sure you turn that notification bell on. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.